LG B4, LG C4. These two TVs from ratings.com, and potentially they even made a video discussing about the differences, and apparently there's not very much of a difference between the LG B4 and the LG C4. So, welcome back to another video on this channel, Tech and Gaming Reviews, and here we are, we're back at it again, talking about TV technology yet again. And you could already look at that TV right there and already see that that one is an OLED just by looking at how thin it is. And this is definitely an area that I think what makes OLEDs really so attractive is the fact that they are so thin and so minimal, and it's insane to have such like a paper thin type of TV that looks absolutely pretty and just has advantages over like LCD TVs and such, like having better contrast, better colors, and slightly better clarity, and then better response time for gaming performance. So OLEDs are definitely, if you are a gamer, OLEDs are definitely the way to go. Even if you decide to go with an LG WOLED or a Samsung QD OLED, or even if you go for a Sony OLED, which you're going to be, with a Sony, you're definitely going to be getting a slightly bit higher of input latency, but it's still going to be really, really low for a nice responsive gaming experience. But if I was you, your best picks are going to be either Samsung or LG, but I would pick Samsung QD OLEDs better because you're going to get some nice, really clean, popping colors and brightness and clarity, however, that's going to look just a tad bit better than WOLED. But WOLED is still really good as well at the end of itself, like LG OLEDs. They are still the number one best-selling OLED TVs out there, and they continue to sell. But when it comes to the difference between the B4 and the C4, it just looks to me, from when I looked at the ratings.com, and I was actually at Best Buy just the other day, like a week or so or something, and we were in the LG OLED section to where they got like the B4, the C4, and the G4 and all that, and then the different sizes like the 77-inch B4, then 70 or 65-inch B4, and then, you know, they got the couple different sizes of each of the three models. And when I looked at the C4 and the B4 65-inch sizes, the C4 did look just a tad bit brighter, but gaming does take a hit, apparently, on the C4, but doesn't on the B4. And this is kind of like where we are actually deciding on, or why I should say we decided to pick the B4, which is coming to our house on January 13th, 2025. Now, I know you're probably thinking like, whoa, bro, why you got that thing coming for your house at 2 months later? Well, it's essentially, if you've watched a couple of our previous videos, well, we're going to be most likely moving out of this house in sometime in between the next week or so to a month or whatever. But that's technically what's going on, and so that way, when next month rolls around, we can start saving up money, and then the month after that, we can get it with our first paycheck, so that way we can start making payments on it, because we do progressive leasing, which is something that does really help us out to where we don't have to spend all that cash at one time. We get like a minimum of up to 3 months to pay that item off. And the B4, we actually got it right now for $1,300 before the Black Friday sale just happened, but it's only $100, and I was like, you know what? I think we'll just probably leave it, not cancel the order and then reorder it just to save $100. So it's probably just better off to just keep it as of yet. So yeah, the LG B4 is going to be getting delivered on January 13th, and personally, we're probably going to be in our newer place by then once we get that TV received, and we're going to have to change address apparently, because that's just what you're going to have to do in order to get it. But yeah, the B4 is probably not going to be we're probably not going to be reviewing it or getting it delivered at this location that we're currently living in. So, but the LG B4 and the LG C4, even though I have seen the TVs, and the C4 does look a tad bit better, but it's not like a marginally better or anything like that. It's probably maybe like, I would say 10% better than the B4. But if you're somebody like us who is a gamer and you have seen the reviews from it from the most popular ratings.com site, and they have stated that with the C4 getting a hit on brightness in terms of game optimizer, like if you turn game mode pretty much on, the brightness is going to take a hit. But however, the LG B4 maintains its full brightness and HDR brightness. So in reality, they're almost going to be identical. So when you think about it into that perspective, you would just think, well, why would I just pick the more expensive one if I'm going to get the same experience picking the cheaper one? I might as well just pick the cheaper one. And right now, the LG B4 is $1,200, at least if you get the 65-inch size. So the 65-inch size is a roughly $200 to $300 cheaper than the C4 at the same size. So if you're a gamer in reality, why not just go for the cheaper option that's going to pretty much give you the same experience? Although if you're a PC gamer, you might want to go for the C4 because there definitely is one advantage that the C4 does have over the B4, and that is being able to play 4K at 144 hertz. Now, that's not going to be a huge deal breaker to a lot of gamers out there, including a good percentage of PC gamers out there, but that is definitely a nice feature for PC gaming if you prefer to play PC on a 42-inch OLED TV like monitor, sort of, or if you like to play on a big screen TV like a 65-inch size, then the C4 is probably going to be a better option for you because then you get those higher refresh rates. But if you're just a casual PC gamer or you're a console gamer like we are, then the B4 is only capable at 120 hertz, but the B4 this year did get an upgrade over last year's B3, and actually there's been a couple of upgrades, and one of them is better brightness and better HDR highlights, and then the one that we're also going to say is all 4 HDMI ports labeled as 2.1. So not just only 2 HDMI ports are capable at 4K 120 Hz. This time, it's all 4 of them. And honestly, I think this is another win for the LG B4 because now you don't have only 2 HDMI 2.1 ports. You now have all 4, and you get better brightness than what the B3 did. So, in reality, the B4 seems like a very good option. And even if you're somebody that ain't a gamer, that wants the best OLED, but wants to pay like a lower, budget, the B4 is definitely not going to be like that much of a difference from the C4. Like, it is still going to be just okay in the terms of brightness. If you're somebody that just got a few windows laying around with some sunlight coming in, you're going to be fine with the LG B4. But if you do want to get the C4, then yeah, I would still recommend getting it. But in the long term, you're not going to really tell a difference between the C4 or the LG B4. So in this perspective, I would honestly say you're just better off to get the LG B4 and save that couple $100 and such. That's just going to be the better deal because there's literally not going to be that much of a difference in terms of brightness, except maybe like I stated, like probably a 10, maybe even 20% brightness, which is only going to be like probably close up to 100 nits, if that. So in reality, when the TVs are basically already hitting around 400 to 450 nits on average, yeah, you're really not going to see that much of a difference between the B4 and the LG C4. But if you go for like a Samsung QD OLED, like the S90D, then you will see a huge difference. Like, you're going to see a huge difference in terms of HDR pop HDR highlights and wonderful colors and just better brightness overall and somewhat better clarity and all that. So yeah, if you go for a Samsung QD-OLED like the S90D, I almost about said QN90D there for a second, but if you go for like something like the S90D, then yeah, that's going to be a huge upgrade and a huge difference from LG's WOLEDs, because in reality, WOLEDs don't get as much bright and the colors are still really good, but they're more like a natural type of picture that you're going to get, whereas with a QD-OLED, you're going to get some nice pop, nice HDR highlights, and just better overall brightness because it's a QD-OLED that has brighter, punchier colors. So in reality, I would definitely recommend getting the S90D because right now it is actually on sale for the 65-inch size at Best Buy for $1,400, and that, my friends, is a wonderful deal, especially because it is slightly brighter than last year's S90C. Now, the S90C was on a very, very good discounted price, but it is officially sold out, sadly. So you cannot buy the S90C at Best Buy anymore, and probably not even Samsung, but you could find it maybe somewhere else like Walmart if they still maybe have a few bits of it in stock, and maybe check like Amazon or something like that. But as for when it comes to Best Buy and I think even Samsung's website, the S90C is no longer available. It is completely finished. It's sold out, but it was just recently on sale for $1,000 for the 65-inch size. And it's not going to be that much different from the S90D. The S90D is just going to have better brightness and slightly better HDR brightness as well. But even with that TV being $1,400 for the 65-inch size, that's honestly still a pretty good deal, and that's still really low than what even Samsung's first QD-OLED TV that came out in 2022 was, like the one we got in our gaming room, sort of. It is the S95B, and that was an insanely upgrade. That was a huge upgrade from this one right here, which is the C1 LG. And the S95B, I was so pumped for it. And then I seen reviews that people were just saying, oh, it's going to be over too saturated. It's not going to look the greatest. And then once we got the TV, we turned it on, got it all set up, started playing games on it. It was like, wow, this was a night and day difference from our LG C1. So yeah, a QD-OLED, I'm not like spitballing here. This is from a genius. A QD-OLED is going to be the best, honestly. Not saying that LG OLEDs are not bad, because they are still really good. They are still pretty. You're still going to get nice clarity, nice colors and such. It's just Samsung's QD-OLED, just they take it to the next level, and you get better brightness, better highlights, better colors, slightly better clarity. And honestly, I just recommend those ones if you are true hardcore gamers out there. But even then, the LG B4 is also $200 cheaper than Samsung's QD-OLED, the S90D. So in reality, it might actually be worth saving the $200 getting a WOLED LG like the C4, or the B4, I should say. I don't know why I said C4. But yeah, it might be better to save the $200 and get the LG B4 rather than buy Samsung S90D. But if you decide to, it's definitely going to be worth that extra $200 if you do. But when it comes to the LG B4 and the LG C4, I truthfully did not see that much of a difference at the Best Buy store at our nearest Best Buy location just the other day. And honestly, I'm very satisfied and thankful that I ordered the LG B4, and hopefully we get it in our new apartment or house or whatever that we're hopefully going to be moving in and out of this place relatively soon. And honestly, I'll be definitely looking forward to reviewing it. And then once we finish that one off, then we're going to get the S90D, which is probably either going to be the same price or may even be $100 cheaper by the time we do finish our B4, which is going to be somewhere around March or in April. And these are definitely going to be our last two TVs like this time around. because OLED is definitely what we've been sticking with for the last 2-3 months. And OLED's just honestly the way to go for gaming. And that's personally what we like doing. And that way we're going to have backup OLEDs. If our C1 or our Samsung S95B ever gets burning, we're going to have some backup. So, yeah. But, yeah, honestly, I would recommend you're better off to just save the couple hundred extra bucks and get the LG B4 rather than get the LG C4, because honestly, if you are a gamer, at least this is what mostly for you hardcore or even to an extent casual gamers out there, the B4 is definitely going to be the better option because it maintains its brightness in game mode while you getting that nice quick response time and low input lag that makes it really, really defined for gaming. So in reality, yeah, you're just better off to get the LG B4, because other than that, the C4 is going to look just identical. And honestly, why pay extra $200 or $300 to get something that's going to look identical to something that's $200-$300 cheaper than that particular item? So you get what I'm saying. Like, the C4 is not a bad TV by any means. It's going to still blow people away, and it's still going to be nice and bright compared to previous OLEDs. But when you look at the C4 and the B4, it's no snatch. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's going to be a deal breaker to get the cheaper B4 because it's not going to be that much of a difference. So, yeah. But that's going to pretty much wrap it up for this discussion of between the LG B4 and C4. I know you probably wish we had the B4 already so that way we could show you, but I am going to say that will be coming. We will do a review video and a first impression video, and as well as an unboxing video in just a couple of months once we get the B4 in January. So that will be coming in, so don't get your hopes up, guys. We will be unboxing and reviewing the LG B4 once we get it, and we'll probably be in our new location, in our new place. That's going to be even a nicer upgrade, and that's going to make this video for the review even interesting. So, yeah, honestly, yeah, you're just better off to get the LG B4 at this point. And this is coming from somebody that went to a Best Buy store and seen it. Yeah, it's definitely worth saving the extra couple $100 and still get a nice premium ultimate experience. So, this is Tech and Gaming Reviews. So, hope you enjoyed this video of us discussing between the B4 and the LG C4. If you like this content, hit the like button. If you are new to this channel, hit that subscribe button, and let us know in the comment section down below of your thoughts if you are somebody that was deciding on between the two, if this helped out anything, or if you're somebody that did get a B4 or somebody that did get a C4, or if you better yet have something like LG B3 or even the LG C3 from last year, or if you decide to go for the better option being the Samsung S90D being a QD OLED. So just let us know in the comment section down below of your thoughts between the LG B4 and C4, if you have one or the other, or if you decided to get the Samsung S90D, the QD OLED, which is the better option. So just let us know in the comment section down below of your thoughts. So rate, comment, subscribe, and we shall see you in the next video. Peace.